Great to have you once again. The Law Association of Zambia has challenged students of law to have a change in mindset if they are to become successful legal practitioners. LAZ President Abyudi Shonga says the industry has become highly competitive and that those seeking to be admitted to the bar must conduct themselves in a professional manner and exhibit high standards in their academics.
Now, joining us live on Breakfast Central is last President Abyudi Shonga. Thank you very much for joining us, Mr. Shonga.
Thank you.
All right, now, Zambia has been recording poor pass rates in recent years. Does this confirm that there's a problem with the education system in Zambia?
Well, I wouldn't really say a problem with the education system per se, because there are various variables at play that contribute for this low pass rate, which I'm advised is not peculiar only to Zambia. The world is changing, and the attitude is probably the biggest attribute towards the high failing rate. But it can't be denied, in my view, that things can perhaps be done better to create better synergies between the universities and those that offer the bar exam. Because remember that at university, the level of training is one which requires students to actually theoretically learn certain principles of law. Now, fast forward to the practical world that the bar wants you to be ready for. So a totally different ball game where you need to switch your mindset to that of a practicing lawyer. And we're finding that the students of these days are having some challenges in switching over to that mindset.
All right, as an association, are you pleased with the performance of law students at ZLE? And what's your call to institutions training lawyers which can help maybe reclaim past glory?
Yes, no, we are not happy with the performance. The performance is quite poor. Out of I think 300 that sat for the last bar exam, one person cleared all 10 or 11 heads. There are about 10 courses that you must write and pass all of them in order to be admitted to the bar. So, of course, the statistics are showing that there were larger pockets of those that didn't clear one or two, but all the same, we would have expected a higher pass rate. It's a conversation that's been going on for some time. Now, those that manage students, LAS thinks they can play a greater role. The system that is in place is a system which allows for an apprenticeship method of teaching. In the morning, the students will go to various law firms or institutions where there are legal departments in place. And the law has put in place some safeguards in that you cannot enroll at Ziale, that's the place where the bar exam is undertaken, unless you are attached to a law firm. And if it's not a law firm where you are attached, and it is a public institution, the lawyers in the legal department must have at least 5 years training. So, of course, the bulk of the supervision rests on us, senior lawyers, to do our part and superintend over the lives of these young lawyers. And so the message that, of course, we want to send is a stricter, more well thought out process of apprenticeship where we mentor the young lawyers and help them to transition from that mindset of thinking like students and start to now think like lawyers are required to think in the real world of practice.
Okay, we find that lots of lawyers talk about the fact that the bar exams are this very grand thing that has almost become a Herculean task. You know, we find that even here in Nigeria, lawyers would say that once you're able to pass the bar exams, there's a certain different level of respect that is accorded to you. How would you say, I mean, we're seeing that there's some poor performances in Ziale. Let's talk about where the blame lies. You've talked extensively about the role that the barristers or the current lawyers need to do, or the effort they need to put in to help with internship. Let's talk about the marking scheme. Do you think that the lecturers or the marking scheme is probably maybe a little too strict?
No, I wouldn't blame the marking system. I have first-hand information, having taught evidence for some 13 years at Ziale, and now I've confined my teaching to the trial advocacy course. So I think that there's adequacy in terms of the lecturing, there's adequacy in terms of the marking system. Previously, you had lecturers setting the paper, and the lecturers would teach, set the paper and mark the paper. The system has changed. The lecturers now go to deliver lectures, and there's accepted marking schemes. And so the markers are separated now from the lecturers, and then there's an assessor, a third tier, to examine just in case the marker has gone overboard. Then the assessor will then correct him and say, here you've been too generous, or here you've been too harsh. So no, I would not say that our system is flawed. We've got to look a bit more broadly at various variables, like I said earlier. And this can only be achieved by, in my view, concerted efforts between the program that is being created at the universities and then tested on the practical side as these students try to enter into Ziale. A year ago, our Higher Education Authority embarked upon an ambitious plan to standardize the LLB standard in terms of content. I thought that was a very good start. The Law Association of Zambia was, of course, asked to participate because these members come from LAS. And so there is a conversation there. Things are being done, but bottom line is the pass rate is concerning.
All right, let's then talk about the long-term effect that this poor performance of lawyers might create in the legal system of the country. Are there fears like that you have?
Well, if the rules are relaxed and you now start worrying more about quantity over quality, the point you raise would be a real concern. For now, though, if you don't make the mark, you are not admitted to the bar. And so you have a situation where it is only those upon second attempt or third attempt that qualify or pass after qualification. So the standard bit is for now under control. I can't say in the future what pressures will be put on the system to now start finding ways of allowing people to go through. But for now, we've got a very strong council of legal education, chaired by the Attorney General. I was Attorney General from 2009 or so, so I know how the system at Ziale works because I was chairperson of that council. So the council is strict, and we need that because of the mammoth task that lies ahead for lawyers when they are admitted to the bar. They represent people, and so one has to be very careful about the quality of lawyers that the country is churning out. But answers need to be found to help improve the pass rate, and those are conversations that I know have been ongoing for some time now.
Very true indeed. Couldn't have been said better. Thank you very much for joining us, my learned colleague, or learned senior, if I might say. We're joined by last president, Abyudi Shonga, and we've had a very intense conversation about the legal system. So thank you very much once again. I will look forward to seeing all that you have suggested implemented over there.
Thank you so much. Bye now.
Bye.
All right. And I think it was pretty important to, speak about, the long-term effects that it would have on, the legal system in the country, because, if you don't put out good quality graduates, from every aspect, from law, medicine, science and technology and all of that, it eventually, would affect, the country.
Very true indeed. Lawyers are extremely important. I like one quote when they say, don't get mad, get a lawyer.